Hello guys, welcome back to Our Vision Farm. Today is going to be processing day for our pig Bubba. We did the chickens as planned on Saturday, so all the chickens are gone. We moved the hoop houses a little bit out of the way and that went really fast. We got them all done in about 3 hours and that was 20 chickens, so that was kind of like our fastest that we've done the meat chickens. We didn't save like the innards. We found out that it's much faster to do the chickens when you don't have to like clean the feet out. We've been feeding the feet to the dogs and they love them as treats. And we saved the chicken hearts separately, but like cleaning the gizzard and cleaning the feet takes up a lot of time when processing chickens, so we kind of skipped that part for this time around. We wanted to just get them done as fast as possible. I gotta get Turbo some food and we're starting to get ready for the day today. Today is going to be the day we process the pig, and he is our last farm animal left behind, except for Turbo the duck that we're keeping as a pet, and then of course our dogs and cats. So pretty bittersweet, but we decided we wanted to process him definitely before we get ready to go on our trip out of state. Our trip is still several weeks away, but this was like the perfect day because it's a Monday and my husband was off of work. So he's already had his 2 days off of work plus an additional day off of work thanks to Martin Luther King Day. So we thought we might as well knock off the last animal on our list and get some pork in our freezer as well. He's not that big and we didn't get a chance to really fatten him up like we wanted to, but it's good enough. It's good enough for our own family and should last us a while just between us. We have a freezer full of chickens as well. We're gonna try smoking some of our chickens today. We saved 4 of them that didn't quite make the cut for selling for customers. They were a little bit small or the skin teared a little bit. So we're gonna use our outdoor smoker here and I'll show you how those 4 chickens come out. So we figured we'll smoke 4 of them and then we'll just probably eat one for dinner. And I wanted to gift one to her grandma-in-law so that, because she lives by herself, so she can enjoy one of those. Can you plug in that hose? And then we'll save the other 2 in the fridge or in the freezer for other meals. So in preparation for processing the pig, we did not feed him all day yesterday. So that's kind of what you want to do when you process a pig. Don't feed them 24 hours before the fact so that they're extra hungry. When you go to do the dispatching, they'll be hungry and they'll sit still because that is when you want to feed them, so that they sit still and they're distracted by the food. So my husband usually does the dispatching. We just do the method where you shoot them like right in the head while they're distracted eating, and then right away after you do that and they're stunned, you want to cut around the neck vein to drain out the blood as soon as possible. So he's still pretty small. He's gained weight and gotten bigger ever since we had separated him from Peanut, the pet pig. But he definitely didn't get as big as he should be. He was stunted in growth from the beginning. He was always a runt pig, so he was always going to be a little pig. And he just didn't get as big as he should be for his age. But that's okay. It's a small pig just for us, a family of 4, 2 adults, 2 kids. So these are the 4 chickens that we're going to be smoking. So these were brined all day yesterday. We brined it in water, salt, and lemon juice. And then rinse them off, and he's preparing like a seasoned butter. Did you ever soften it? So softened butter, and then he's gonna put garlic in it, rosemary, cilantro, and just some extra seasonings to rub the whole chicken in and put it under the skin and in the inside to keep the chicken moist and flavor it while it is smoking. So that is how they look before. the pig has been dispatched and it is currently hanging on our hoist right now. I wanted to share an easy way to skin a pig if you want to remove the hairs off the body and still keep the skin. One of these propane things, I think it's called a torch or something. You attach it to the propane tank and you turn it on and actually burn the skin. I'll try to show you a little bit. We kind of got started here, but our torch thing seems to be broken, so my husband went over to the neighbors to see if he has one we could borrow. But we like doing this instead of dipping it in the scalding water. We find it easier. So you just go along and burn the skin till, not really the skin, but like the fur till it's crispy, and then that softens up the first layer of like that thin skin, and then you go with the back of the knife and start scraping it, and you can see it's leaving behind just the clean plain pork skin, so without the hairs and without that first thin layer of skin. So we do that with the whole entire body, and it just makes it a little bit easier. It skips the whole step of having to scald it. We've had problems with scalding it before. Like we either don't get the water hot enough, or some areas of the pig are just harder to scrape off for some reason. And with the torch thing, it just skips a whole step, and you're still doing the same thing. You're still scratching it with the back of a knife, but we just found it easier, and that's usually how we do our pigs ever since we discovered that method of doing it. Dispatching went pretty easy, but I wish I would have filmed not the actual dispatching, but what happened. Our dog, she's really scared of loud noises, which I knew that. So see, last time, what was it, for New Year's, everybody was doing fireworks and she got really scared. We put her in our screened patio, but she like literally almost tried to get out through the screen. So what we did last time, we knew we were going to shoot something. We put her in this shed right here, and I'm talking about Aspen, our Pyrenees. So we put her in there. Somehow she got out when my husband shot the pig. Hold on. She got out of here. Like, I didn't think she could squeeze out because there's not that much of a gap there, but this door is a little bit flimsy, so it gave enough way for her to push out. So then I grabbed her and held her for a bit, and she was still acting really stressed because she thought she was going to hear another gunshot or hear loud noises again. I'm talking about you, Aspen. This is just hanging out now. So since she was still kind of nervous and wanting to get out and tugging on the collar I was holding her by, I went ahead and put her in our screen patio. So I went ahead and put her in here in the screen patio, thinking it would be good for her to just calm down because we were done messing with the gun. And she climbed out of the door up here. You can see she tore this whole screen. This was already a little bit broken because of the cats, but she just finished breaking it, climbed out through there, and then went headfirst out the gate in the front yard. So we had to go and chase her. So my husband ended up getting the bike and chasing her, and they ended up catching her. So now we put her back in the bag and she's calmed down because she doesn't hear any more loud noises. So my husband went over there to, hopefully our neighbor does have a torch that we can borrow for today. Otherwise, we did not prep for actually heating up water to do it that way. So I hope they have it. If not, I guess we're just gonna skin the pig for this time. And that's pretty much it. I'll show you guys how much meat we ended up getting. I'm interested in weighing. We usually don't keep the head or any of the inside parts. I know some people do eat them, but we just don't like it. We usually save some things like the heart and liver and stuff for the dogs and make dog treats out of it, and the ears. But we'll see how much like the base weight is after we cut it up and package it up in the large portions that we're gonna do today. And our smoked chicken is already in the smoker. This is going to take several hours, and I'll show you guys how it looks at the end. I don't think we've done smoked chicken in this smoker before. We've done smoked pork, like a pork shoulder. Yeah, those are looking really good. This is our first time doing smoked chicken, but I imagine it's going to be really good, especially with all that butter, the seasoned butter, and the herbs in it. All right, guys, I'll keep you updated towards the end when we have everything finished up for today. We're all done with the pig butchering. We're getting cleaned up, and I have all of the pork inside the house. I'm going to go ahead and start weighing it to see how much he ended up weighing. The pig itself was a smaller pig, but it was still a lot of meat, and then he didn't really have a lot of lard, which is a good thing sometimes. We didn't want a bunch of fat that we have to render down later, so he really didn't have no fat at all. Like usually a pig has like 1 to 1.5 inch cap of fat. He had nothing, so he was very lean, probably because he was a smaller pig, and when we were first keeping him, he was basically fighting for food with our other pig, so he stayed pretty lean the whole time. So this is all the meat we got from that one pig, and we have like roast saved here, the pork butt and the ham. We did save some like bones that had a little bit of meat still on it. We have 2 bags of this, which is just a random chunks of meat that I like to make pork stew out of. So I saved 2 Ziploc sized bags of that. And then I think this and this piece is what we saved that was just skin, so we can fry up into kind of like pork rinds later on. But everything else is meat, and most of it we left it on the bone so it could just be easier. We didn't cut the pork chops, we just saved the pork chops. They're somewhere here wrapped up. We saved them to just make boneless pork chops, just to save ourselves on time. It's about 2 o'clock now. We got a late start today, so we didn't want to make it too difficult. But this is our kitchen counter, and it's full of our home raised pork. We were worried about the meat having boar taint, but luckily, because he was not fixed, he wasn't castrated at all, since he was supposed to be our breeding boar, but he had no boar taint, so that's good. The meat smells nice and clean and fresh, because we did have that a couple years ago. We raised a male pig that we didn't fix, and he had the most horrible boar taint ever, and that was the only pig that we've done like that. Other ones that we have castrated just in case, but luckily he didn't get the boar taint. He was still young enough, or he just didn't have that in him. Sometimes specific pigs have that. So I'm going to get all this weighed up to give you an idea of the weight, and just keep in mind this has bones in it. Some of it is just skin, and we got rid of all the innards. I fed some things to the dogs, and we got rid of the head, so that's not going to be included in the final weight. Alright, so finished weight of the pork, I added up to 62 pounds, just about, give or take. I rounded some up and some down. So that is what we got from this fairly small size pig. 62 pounds of meat that we can actually eat and make lots of different meals with. I think it's pretty good. So that is it, and now we're just waiting for the smoked chicken to be ready so I can show you guys how that ended up coming out. They were looking good last time I checked and getting brown. So I'm just going to store all this in the freezer, and then we'll be back with that. Checking on the chicken. It should be done by now. It's been smoking for a couple hours, pretty much since we started dealing with the pig. Tongs. Alright, that is how our smoked chicken is looking. Pretty sure it's fully cooked, but I'm going to take the temperature just in case. But they're nice and browned. And what kind of chips did you use? Do you know?
Hickory.
Hickory. We use hickory chips in the smoker that we have. Alright guys, well we have a freezer full of chickens and pork, and then we have the smoked chicken that is ready. We're going to package those up and separate them. I hope you guys enjoy joining us today in just getting that pig done, and with all the farm updates. We'll continue to sharing everything that's going on with you guys, and we're looking forward to our trip very soon to the state that we're planning on visiting. And that has been fully booked, and it's in February, so I will be sharing that video with you guys and showing you where we ended up visiting and what we ended up doing during our little short trip as well. So I'm excited for that, and we will see you in the next one.